Hi grade 9s, it's Miss Thungaraj here. Today we're going to do our fourth video for the summative, and today's video is about proportional reasoning. And I picked this picture for our video because I hoped it would help you remember when we were in class learning proportional reasoning together. So when we were in class, we talked about what is the ratio that describes the blocks in this car. So remember, we counted up how many reds and how many greens, how many blues and oranges and yellow blocks there were. And we ended up with a ratio that looked like this. For red, we had 3 blocks. For green, we had 2 blocks. For blue, we had 4 blocks. For yellow, we had 2 blocks. For orange, we had 7 blocks. And when we add all those blocks together, our total would be 18. And that is a ratio, when you put numbers all in a row that go together. And in class, we asked questions like this. If the total blocks is 54, how many orange blocks are there? So when you have 3 cars, then your total will be 54. 18, 18, 18, altogether gives you 54. So in one car, there are 7 oranges. So if you have 3 cars, you'll have 7, 7, 7. So 7 for the first car, 7 for the second car, 7 for the third car. That would make 21 blocks. So that's what proportional reasoning is. If you know that 7 orange blocks are there when the total is 18, and there are 21 orange blocks when the total is 54, that is a proportional reasoning question. So let me show you how you could get the 21 without drawing the 3 cars and without counting all the oranges. Let me remind you of the trick that we used in class. Okay, so there's 7 oranges when the total is 18. So if I add another 18, then I'll add another 7. If I add another 18, I'll add another 7. So then I would have 21, 7 plus 7 plus 7, I'd have 21 oranges when my total is 18 plus 18 plus 18 gives me 54. 21 orange pieces when the total is 54. But there was another way we did this in class that I'm going to remind you now. So orange total, 7 oranges when the total is 18. If my total is 54, how many oranges? What we talked about in class was we talked about multiplying and then dividing. This requires a calculator. So you need to multiply the 2 numbers that are diagonal. You have to multiply the diagonal. And remember, diagonal means either like this or like this. We chose to go this way because you can't multiply on a calculator 18 times question mark. But you can multiply 7 times 54. So first we multiply and then we divide. So if you were to take your calculator and go 7 times 54 divided by 18, that would give you 21. So there are 21 oranges when the total is 54. Okay, so let's just look at this question. It's another proportional reasoning. You can tell it's a proportional reasoning question because I see the ratio. I see 9.16. It says, an HD TV has a height to width ratio of 9:16. Mr. Pierce's TV is 43.5 inches wide. How high or how tall is his television? So I tried to make the question a little simpler. It said height to width is 9:16. It means if the height is 9, the width is 16. And then the question told us that the TV is 43.5 inches wide. Wide is the same thing as width. So that means I want to put the 43.5 with the 16, underneath the 16 on the wide side. And then we're going to use our trick to find out the height or how tall it is. Here's my question, height wide or height width. And height is the same thing as tall. Your height or how tall you are the same. So if the height is 9, your width is 16. It tells you the width of your television is 43.5. We want to know this number. So again, I'm going to multiply and then I'm going to divide. So with my calculator, I'm going to go 9 times 43.5 divided by 16. Let's try that right now. It's a very fancy calculator I have at home. 9 times 43.5 divided by 16 equals 24.46, so about 24.5. So this answer is 24.5. So it means that if your television is 43.5 wide, then the height will be 24.5. I just want to show you that the question could have said that the width to height ratio is 16 to 9. It could have had the order backward. Instead of height to width, it could have said width to height. And then it could have said, what if our width or our wide is 43.5 and we want to know the height? I just want to show you that sometimes you don't multiply this diagonal. Sometimes you need to multiply this diagonal. So in this case, you'd have 9 times 43.5 divided by 16. And that would be the same thing we just did, and we get the same answer being 24.5. So I just wanted to show you don't always multiply like this. If your two numbers are like this on the diagonal, you need to multiply that way. This is our last question we're going to do together today in this video. It says 40% of the students are going to attend summer school this year. If there are 56 students, how many are going to summer school? When you look at that question initially, you don't see a ratio, but I want to tell you a special trick. Whenever you see the percent sign means that there is a ratio, it's just hidden. The percent sign means out of 100. So any single time you see percent, it means you want to use a ratio that ends in 100, ... 100. So there actually is a ratio here. So what that means in this question is that when you see 40% of the students, that means you can write down 40 out of 100, 40 ... 100 of the students will be going to summer school. And then we see that we can do this question the same way that we did the others. Okay, so the 100 would be the total. It means if there are a total of 100 students, 40 go to summer school. So there's our ratio. We know that if the total students were 100, 40 would go to summer school. Now, if you look at this question more closely, you see that the total students should not be 100. It should actually be 56. So what we want to do is we want to put the 56, the total students, underneath the 100, and then figure out how many of those students are going to summer school. Okay, so our total is not 100. Our total is actually 56. And we want to know if there's 56 students, how many go to summer school? So we're going to do the same trick as before. We're going to multiply, and then we're going to divide. I've got my calculator here. So I have 40 times 56 divided by 100 equals 22.4. So about 22 students. So if you have 56 students in total, 22 of those students are going to summer school. Here is your question for today in the summative. Again, it's a proportional reasoning question. It's comparing milk and eggs. So you want to do this question in the same way that we did the questions in today's video. So try this question, decide if the right answer is A, B, C, or D. And if you want me to check your work before handing it in, you can send me a picture of your work or send me an Instagram or WhatsApp, and I can check it for you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and we only have one more video for math, and I'll send that out tomorrow. Bye, everyone.